So, the season 5 finale of Game of Thrones has been and gone, but it's left a shed load of questions in its wake. I've already talked about what the future holds for Jon Snow and the Night's Watch, and in this video I'm going to look at where things are headed for Cersei after her Walk of Atonement, and also how this links up with the future for Jaime and the Martell storyline in Dorne in season 6. Just to give you a heads up, there's going to be speculation and possible spoilers for the show and books in this video. Before we start, I've got another great giveaway from our friends at 10 Stickers, who have some insanely cool Game of Thrones products as well as loads of other fab movie and TV stickers. Details of the giveaway are in the description below. All you need to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video about the Lannisters or Dorne. Remember the flashback we had at the start of the season to the prophecy that young Cersei received from Maggie the Frog? Well, in the prophecy she was told that she would wed a king, and she married Robert Baratheon, and she was also told that someone younger and more beautiful would come along to take everything she held dear. Well, Margaery Tyrell took both her royal title and her son. And as for her children, she was told that gold will be their crowns, gold their shrouds. Now, Joffrey of course was crowned king and poisoned at the Purple Wedding in season 4. Myrcella was also poisoned in the season 5 finale after a kiss from Ellaria Sand, who was avenging the death of her lover Oberyn Martell. Now, of course, Myrcella hasn't been crowned queen, but gold will be their crowns could have a figurative meaning and just refer to her golden hair. When the effects of the poison took hold, Myrcella was sailing back to King's Landing and enjoying a tender moment with Jaime Lannister, the man she said she always knew was her father. But of course, this is Game of Thrones, so that father-daughter bonding lasted about 10 seconds before blood started trickling from Myrcella's nose and she died. In the end then, Oberyn was wrong when he told Cersei that we don't hurt little girls in Dorne, and Cersei was right when she replied, everywhere in the world they hurt little girls. Oh, and I'm sure that Cersei won't be forgetting that it was Tyrion who was behind Myrcella's Dornish betrothal, and will likely blame him for Myrcella's murder, just as she did for Joffrey's. That of course leaves Tommen as the final Lannister child on the list to die. And if things continue the way they have been so far, with one death in season 4, another in season 5, then Tommen looks scheduled to meet his poisonous end in season 6. Obviously, the Tyrells could be out for revenge, and they've got form for poisoning people, haven't they, like Joffrey? So perhaps we could see them teaming up again with Littlefinger. But let's go back for a moment, as I want to talk about what Myrcella's death means for season 6. Throughout season 5, Prince Doran has been very keen on keeping the peace between the Martells in Dorne and the Lannisters in King's Landing. And each time that Ellaria Sand and the Sand Snakes have tried to hatch a plan to get some revenge for Oberyn's death, they've been foiled until the season 5 finale. Ellaria believes that Doran is spineless, but Doran made Ellaria swear allegiance to him, kissing his ring, and told her that he believes in second chances. I don't believe in third chances. So by poisoning Myrcella, Ellaria has gone completely against Doran and his strict instructions not to harm Cersei's daughter. And if Doran finds she's responsible for Myrcella's death, she'll doubtless be punished. This whole situation will leave Doran's son Trystane in trouble as he's headed to King's Landing on the ship with Jaime, Bronn and the now dead Myrcella. Now the Lannisters have a reason for war against Dorne and a bargaining chip, or rather a means of direct revenge, in Trystane, who, if he ends up in King's Landing, would, I think, be in a much worse position than Myrcella was in Dorne. After all, Cersei isn't known for being quite so diplomatic as Prince Doran. And remember what happened to the last Dornishman who had a seat on the small council. Now the question is, will Jaime return to King's Landing, or will he turn the ship around and head straight back to Dorne to confront them? After all, Bronn would likely suspect the Sand Snakes given his own experience being poisoned. Personally, I think he'll continue to King's Landing, but I don't think Cersei is going to be too pleased when he eventually returns with the news about Myrcella. Either way, it's been confirmed that the show will be filming in Spain again for next season, so it's a safe bet we'll see more of Dorne. Cersei's Walk of Atonement, as the High Sparrow called it, was more like a walk of shame. That whole sequence was really full on and actually made me feel sorry for Cersei. But I'm guessing that feeling won't last next season, as I fully expect her to have learned nothing from her experiences at the hands of the Faith Militant. It's unlikely she's going to be a reformed character. She'll probably probably just have more names on her hit list of people to get revenge on in season 6. If she wants to stay out of trouble though, she'd better show a bit more long-term thinking and cunning as to how she goes about getting that revenge. I mean, this season she certainly did nothing to disprove her father Tywin Lannister's words that "you're not as smart as you think you are." But she does have her newest Kingsguard, Sir Robert Strong, on her side, who, according to Qyburn, has taken a vow of silence until all Cersei's enemies are dead and the evil has been driven from the realm. Ooh, sounds ominous. In season 6, Littlefinger, Olenna and Marjorie Tyrell, Septa Unella, Lancel Lannister, the High Sparrow, and pretty much anyone and everyone better watch out, as that guy on her side is a mountain of a man. But Cersei better watch out too if she tries to take out the High Sparrow, as that could easily cause a rebellion. Speaking of the High Sparrow, he told Cersei that she'll be facing a trial to determine whether her children are bastards, which she denies. So, who will be lining up to give evidence? Given their hardly warm welcome when Cersei arrived home, Kevin Lannister and Pycelle seem like likely candidates, as does Olenna Tyrell. Jaime's heading back to King's Landing, so he could well be called upon to testify too. But given Cersei's got this huge new Kingsguard at her disposal, it's much more likely to end up as a trial by combat like we've seen previously for Tyrion, once with Bronn representing him and once with Oberyn stepping up. Wouldn't it be awesome if Clegane Bowl actually happened? Or could Lancel Lannister step up to fight for the faith? Or total tinfoil hat theory here, what if Arya took on the face of Sandor Clegane and fought against the Undead Mountain? Now in the books there's another line in Maggie the Frog's prophecy to the young Cersei, but we haven't heard that on the show, at least not yet. After Maggie told the young Cersei that her children would die, she added, "And when your tears have drowned you, the valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you." Now, valonqar means little brother in High Valyrian, and this prophecy has doubtless added to Cersei's hatred of Tyrion over the years. So could this mean that we'll see Tyrion strangle Cersei just like he did his former lover Shae? Maggie the Frog's other prophecies have certainly been coming true. I wonder if it'll be that simple though. The mountainous man in armour who scooped Cersei up into his arms after her Walk of Atonement is Sir Robert Strong, who was created by Qyburn from the dying Gregor Clegane. But earlier this season, Qyburn also took that decapitated dwarf head that looked a lot like Tyrion to use for his work. So, final tinfoil hat theory for this video. Could Qyburn have done a Frankenstein's monster and put the Tyrion look-alike head on top of the mountain to make Sir Robert? If so, and if Maggie's prophecy comes true, maybe it's Sir Robert who chokes Cersei. I mean, the mountain certainly found it easy enough to squeeze the life out of Oberyn Martell. But if Clegane Bowl did happen, then of course Sandor Clegane is the little brother of Gregor, so in that scenario, if Sandor defeated Gregor at Cersei's trial by combat, Sandor would be the cause of Cersei's death, as per the prophecy. Now of course Qyburn's brought Gregor back from the dead, maybe he'd like to try doing the same for Myrcella, but frankly I think one zombie in the Lannister lineup is enough for season 6. Going back to the valonqar prophecy though, who do you reckon it will turn out to be? Could it be Cersei's slightly younger twin brother Jaime? Then again there's Tommen, her son, or Trystane Martell, who's the youngest son of that family in the books. Or perhaps Littlefinger, who Catelyn Stark viewed as a kind of brother. Or what about Loras Tyrell, who's the youngest son in the books? So those are my thoughts on the Lannisters and Dorne in season 6. Don't forget, for a chance to win some goodies from our friends at 10 Stickers, subscribe and leave a comment about what you'd like to see happen in season 6 on this video. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, I've just interviewed Toby Sebastian, who plays Trystane Martell, and you can click here to watch that video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. And remember, if you're not watching Jan G on GOT, you know nothing.